What a view!
This is incredible.
An Ontario County nonprofit.
Overlook Horizon high-altitude balloons.
3, 2, 1, launch.
Hey guys, Tori here from Overlook Horizon. Good evening. It is, what day are we on? Monday, July 20th, 2020. In case you're watching the replay, it's been a while. We haven't been here. It feels like it's been weeks and weeks since we were here. Because, well, it has been weeks and weeks. But what's happening? How's everybody doing? I've had a great couple of weeks here. I'm pumped to get back at it. I've been missing all you guys. We missed the last launch. Starlink 9 has been scrubbed about 750 times. But we're here. We're back now. And it's time to go. It's time to get this rocket. We got some good tunes going in the background here. I don't know. I like this. But we're here for ANASIS. ANASIS-II is what's launching today for SpaceX. In case you're watching the replay back afterwards, I will put timestamps in the description below in case you want to skip ahead and you don't want to listen to me babble on. But come on, this is what we're here for. This is the good stuff, right? That's what I'm here for. I don't know. So hello to everybody. Miss you, Tambo. Do I have a tan? Do I look tan? I was in the sun quite a bit. I'm a guy that does not tan. I'm usually either like bright white or this color, red. So, anyways, yeah, we're still 30 minutes prior to launch. Is that me making all that noise? We're still 30 minutes prior to launch here. And we've got launch coming up. Here's our T-minus countdown. 28 minutes to go before we actually get to launch time. We were a little bit delayed for weather. I think it was electric field weather that was happening. Somebody says, Virginia on Facebook says I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up to anybody? Or do I sound all right? Was it just my excitement? Was I getting too excited? Let's see. Jaws Matt says I look a little tan. All right, thanks, Jaws Matt. Appreciate that. You looks good, says Myrna. Yes, everybody giving the compliment. I love it. Let me just fish for some more compliments. Bring them in. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's weird. Jaws Matt says I sound good. Alex Ziggyful says I'm not breaking up. Sound is splendid. All right, good. Loud and clear. All right, well, thanks. I'm glad. Thanks for this quick sound check. Is it going to be on TV? Well, you can put this onto TV. This goes on your TV if you got YouTube on your TV. It's streamed live on YouTube, which we will have up here. This will be the stream, and it will go full screen at some point when we get a little bit closer. But we're not there yet. SpaceX will go live. I probably should put my phone up here so I can see any notifications that come through in case it does get delayed. But I think right now I have no reason to believe that we are any more delayed than we are at this point. So this was originally going to launch on the 13th of July. Then it got pushed back for a second stage issue. So SpaceX was having, Elon said that they were being overly paranoid, which is, I mean, they're being safe, really. So they were trying to be safe and make sure that the second stage, the upper stage of the Falcon 9 rocket, which, I forgot to bring my models again. I keep forgetting. I need to bring them down here and just set them here. I have models that I 3D printed so I can show you guys cool stuff like this. Forgot it again. Anyway, so the second stage, they wanted to be overly cautious, and I think, I don't know for sure, but there's a chance that they completely replaced the second stage. We don't know that. Speculation, I think. Does anybody know that for sure? I don't know that for sure. But we're going to take a look at... I was looking to see if... I didn't see it anywhere on here if anybody had a confirmation of that. What's the weather like? We're going to take a look at weather here in just a second. Is the weather okay for launch? So we were... Look, where's the weather report? I can pull that up. Do I have a quick link to that? Nope. But we can get it from... 45th Space Wing. I think we were at... Where is the launch? Falcon 9... Yeah, this one. We're at 30% probability of violating launch conditions. So this is 30% probability of violating weather constraints, which means we're 70% go. So pretty good chance of launch today. 70% go. They are... but this also does not include upper level winds. It does not, it also doesn't really, I don't know, I guess it kind of factors this in, but Florida weather, especially in the summertime and the afternoon summertime, it's very unpredictable with storms because they can pop up like in a moment's notice. So, but yeah, we are 70% go for today and only 50% go for tomorrow. So if they do have to delay and go another 24 hours, only 50% tomorrow, 70% chance though, for today. That's the latest forecast that we're looking at from the 45th Space Wing. Are they still the 45th Space Wing? From the U.S. Space Force Station. Used to be Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. But now it is the 45th... Well, it's still the 45th Space Wing. For the Space Force. You know what I'm trying to say. You guys get it. I know you get it. Lightning can come out of nowhere, says Chuck. Yeah, for sure. Especially Florida afternoons. In the summertime. Let's see. Autumn found out my husband made parts for the Crew Dragon spacecraft. That's pretty awesome. That's awesome, Autumn. Can't believe that. Where's your lucky shirt? Says Steve over on Facebook. I didn't go with it today. I could have gone with it, but I was trying to look nice today. I had some video recording that you guys will see in maybe a couple weeks coming out on the YouTube channel. But I was recording some of that today, so this was my gear for that. Let's see. Why is the SpaceX channel not working? SpaceX doesn't go live until 15 minutes prior to launch, so we'll pull it up when they do go live, but they don't go live until 15 minutes prior to launch. So we still got, I mean, we're at T-minus 23 minutes-ish. That's not exactly up to the second. We'll update that when they do go live so we can match their seconds. No thunderstorms today, says Julia. That's good to hear. I'm assuming you're in Florida. let's see, where scattered clouds here. Oh, scattered. That's Julia. Julia giving us the. Are you in Florida, Julia? Giving us a weather report. We're gonna take a look at the weather radar here in just a minute. What will the Yeah, all right. So let's talk about the satellite. Sponsored by Adidas. It's not sponsored by Adidas. I should cover it up. I'll cover it up with a big space lobster sticker. Except it's too reflective. I considered doing that, but this is too reflective. You can see my studio lights in the back behind with the sticker there. So let's talk about what the payload is here today. So this is a defense satellite made by Airbus for South Korea. So they are launching this into, eventually it'll go to geostationary orbit, where it's locked into the same position above the Earth and will be locked there with the Earth. As the Earth rotates, the satellite will rotate with it, so it'll be locked in more or less a single spot above the Earth once it gets into its final orbit. The SpaceX Falcon 9 will put this satellite into geostationary transfer orbit. So geostationary transfer orbit looks something like the blue line that we see here. So we would see SpaceX would launch with their Falcon 9 rocket. They'd get the yellow line. They'd go up. They would go into an initial parking orbit, and then there's going to be a second. You'll get the first stage burn. It'll turn around. It's going to land on the drone ship. Then you're going to get separation. Second stage is going to burn, and then that will have an engine cutoff. It'll be an initial parking orbit, which would be more or less what that yellow line is. That's like the first stage, and the second stage is burn there. That's the yellow line that we're seeing. Roughly. This is not exactly for this mission, but stay with me. And then the second stage will do another burn, a second burn, which will elongate that into an elliptical orbit, which is what that blue line is. And that blue line is... that is called geostationary transfer orbit, which is where the SpaceX Falcon 9 is going to drop off the satellite. Then the satellite's onboard maneuvering system will get itself into geostationary orbit, which is the big red line on the outside. That will come over the next days and weeks to get the satellite into its final geostationary orbit. But SpaceX will not put it into geostationary orbit. SpaceX can do that, but it's very expensive, and so a lot of times this is very common. It's actually uncommon to go direct into geostationary orbit. It's very common for SpaceX to put it into geostationary transfer orbit. To get into geostationary orbit, you'd either need a really light payload, or you'd have to use something like the Falcon Heavy. Falcon Heavy could go direct to geostationary orbit. Let's see. What's the point of the... Yeah, so it's going to be it's essentially a defense satellite for South Korea. So when it goes up and it gets into geostationary orbit, its final position will be above the Korean Peninsula. And that's where it will stay once it gets locked into geostationary orbit. It'll always be above the Korean Peninsula. It's a defense satellite for South Korea. And one other thing that's a bit interesting is that today, the SpaceX broadcast will continue through satellite deployment, but the customer, South Korea, has requested that they not show deployment. So we will not see the satellite actually deploy because the customer requested that SpaceX not show that. So we will not see the satellite deploy, but the webcast will be live throughout all the way up there. So we'll hear the audio calls that the satellite has deployed successfully, but we're just not going to see it. Presumably that's for like national security, top secret military purposes. They don't want us seeing it heading out there. So let's see, why else doesn't SpaceX start broadcasting? There are already a lot of people. Well, SpaceX always starts about 15 minutes prior. I mean, SpaceX is pretty confident that people are going to come back to see the big show, which is at 5:30. So really, the people that come early, you guys are the fellow geeks and nerds. That I say that lovingly because that's what I am. You guys are here for the good stuff. Don't be offended if I called you a geek or a nerd, because that's what I call myself. You ever spent a lot of time on TikTok recently? We got a TikTok for Overlook Horizon. Haven't done any TikToks in like a week or two, but I'll do some more. I spent a lot of time on TikTok recently. There's a comedian out there that does a whole Venn diagram about what geeks and nerds and dorks are. That's like pretty funny. I can't remember his name, but it hit home. It really hit home because it's so me. Anyways, did you watch the Rocket Lab failure? I did. So I was on vacation actually, which is why I didn't broadcast the GPS-3 or the Rocket Lab one. And I actually tuned into Everyday Astronauts live stream like right as the failure was happening. That's kind of crazy that that all went down. I was very surprised about the Rocket Lab failure. So they haven't really put out anything new about that. It'll be kind of interesting to see. We might broadcast the Rocket Lab stream when they get back up and running, because that was very interesting. It was very interesting to me. Let's see. Launch in 20 minutes, says Elon Musk. Okay. So, yeah, we're still on track for 5:30. So we're good to go. That was a couple minutes ago. We're still T-minus 17 minutes here. SpaceX planned to broadcast as 00 this time. Yeah, SpaceX put out a weather delay about half an hour ago. You really have to keep in touch. If you're trying to keep in touch with the launch times, you really have to pay. The time to pay attention is about 45 minutes prior to when the launch is scheduled. I'm sorry, I'm changing this song because I don't like it. About 45 minutes prior to launch is when you'll get a big update, because that's when the launch director gives the go, no go poll for whether they're going to start fueling or not. It's like 38 minutes prior to launch, but usually they start that a little bit early. So if you want to be updated on whether or not they're going to be on time with their attempt, give yourself a reminder anytime there's a launch for SpaceX to tune in or look at Twitter about 45 minutes prior to launch, or just look at my live stream timing 45 minutes to launch, because I'll try to update that, although I did a terrible job for Starlink 9 when it was canceled and I forgot to update the stream. Sorry. Okay, let's look at weather. Today, oh yeah, great point, MVM. I totally forgot about that. Today's booster, first stage booster for SpaceX, is the same booster that launched the astronauts to the International Space Station, Bob and Doug. So there was a lot of question at the DM2 launch what they were going to do with that booster. Like, I kind of thought they were going to retire that. They'd put it, like NASA would put it on display or something like that. They're reusing it. They're using it again today. So this is the same booster that flew Bob and Doug, and I believe, I have not seen it myself yet, but I believe that the NASA logos are still on it. So it'll be interesting to see that today, booster with NASA logos on the side, even though this mission has nothing to do with NASA. But it is the same booster that launched Bob and Doug back at the end of May. Update, too, for Bob and Doug. They're coming back on August 2nd, and I plan to broadcast that. I don't have any conflicts in particular, but I will we should be broadcasting the return to Earth for Bob and Doug on August 2nd. I think they're undocking August 1st, like late in the day, August 1st, and then they'll actually come back on August 2nd. So, yeah, I would have thought, Heather says, I would have thought they saved the first stage and sent it to the Smithsonian. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought that they would have, like, retired it, would have been a one and done thing, but those boosters are expensive, and apparently they were like, nah, we're zero sentimental value. We're gonna send it again. I don't know, maybe when it's expended its life, I don't know. Well, no, I don't think they're gonna save it. I think they're just gonna keep on going and going. So, SpaceX just went live. Oh, we didn't even get a chance to look at weather here yet. Okay, SpaceX is live, but they're not actually talking yet. So let's look at weather real quick. All right, here's our weather radar. Oh, you want to see it on the big screen here, though. Weather radar, looking not too bad. There's not any like thunderstorms in the near vicinity. Remember, they only need like a small area here to launch, to actually launch the rockets. Because they get up over the top of thunderstorm clouds very, very quickly. So they have to have no thunderstorm clouds within the immediate vicinity. I forget what the exact mileage is. I think it's only like 10 miles or something like that, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's a small radius. Like, you don't need the whole state of Florida to be clear of thunderstorms, just the immediate vicinity of the launch pad. We are launching from Space Launch Complex 40, which is on the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, which is like right here. Pad 39A, where Bob and Doug launched, is up here. That's the big one, the Apollo, the shuttle, things like that. That's 39A up top. And then 40, Slick 40. I always get 40 and 41 confused. Slick 40 is SpaceX's pad, which is 2 pads below 39A. So SpaceX has got to be. Oh no, they're still not talking yet, but they are live, so they should be coming up soon here. So that's weather. We'll look at wind speeds real quick. Ground level winds, really not too bad. A little gustier, 10, 12, 13, 15 miles per hour, not too bad. We got to look at our upper level winds though. Upper level winds also not bad. We're only talking 20 mile per hour winds, so this is not bad. We can zoom out here. We'll take a look at where the jet stream is, and you can see the jet stream way up to the north here. Woo, this is this red area here. That's way up here. So down here, down at Florida, looking pretty good. Let's check like mid-level here. Yeah, still pretty good. So I don't personally have any concerns for upper level winds. I think our main concern is probably going to be with this lightning that's in the area, and that's welcome to summer afternoons in Florida, thunderstorms and lightning. So that's the main concern. You can see there's a threat. This is predicted thunderstorms right here off to the side here. This is for 5 o'clock, so this was a few minutes ago. But that would be the concern, especially if it's got electric energy here. You got lightning in the area. That's probably our big concern for weather today. So it looks like SpaceX is going live. We will chat it up afterwards, especially since they're not going to show satellite deployment today. So make sure you stick around afterwards because we'll chat more once they do go. Once they finish their chatting, and I'll kind of interject a little bit here and there during it. I'll try not to talk too much, but I do like to put my 2 cents in every once in a while.
Afternoon. It is Monday, July 20th, and on your screen is
We
a
gotta
live
turn up the
view
volume
of the
here.
Falcon 9 rocket as it awaits its
There we go.
5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time launch from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in Florida. My name is Michael Andrews, and I'm a supply chain supervisor here at SpaceX. And
Get out of
welcome
the
to
way.
our webcast coverage for the ANASIS-II mission. Our customer today is Lockheed Martin on behalf of the Republic of Korea. Per the customer's request, we will not show payload deployment today. However, we will stay live on the webcast and bring you verbal confirmation of spacecraft separation.
Why is this red line here?
We are just at under T-minus 11 minutes and counting, and all systems are go for an on-time liftoff this afternoon. But if for some reason we are not able to launch today, we do have a backup window tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Now let's take a closer look at the vehicle that will launch our payload today.
Here she is.
On your screen is that view of Space Launch Complex 40 with the Falcon 9 rocket. It's our 2-stage liquid-fueled launch vehicle getting ready for liftoff. Falcon 9 stands at about 230 feet tall, 70 meters tall. That's greater than the wingspan of a 747 aircraft. The bottom 2/3 of the vehicle is the first stage. It's designed to be reflown 10 or more times with minimal refurbishment between flights. And as you can tell from the re-entry soot on that first stage, it's pretty easy to spot a flight-proven booster. Today will be the second flight for this particular first stage, and actually less than 2 months ago, it was the one that launched Bob and Doug to the International Space Station on our historic Demo 2 mission. At the bottom
see
of
the
that
NASA
first
logo?
stage,
I
there
don't
are
see
9
it.
Merlin engines. They get Falcon 9 off the ground and up to the thinner parts of Earth's atmosphere before separating from second stage and making its way back down to Earth for landing. And it's this part of the rocket that we will attempt to recover for a second time on our drone ship, known as Just Read the Instructions. You can see it there. It's stationed 350 nautical miles east of our launch site.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
And above the first stage, above that black interstage band, is our second stage. At about T plus 2.5 minutes into flight, the first and second stage will separate, and that second stage will ignite its single MVAC engine. That'll carry the ANASIS-II spacecraft to its intended orbit. And the ANASIS-II satellite is currently safely enclosed inside the 17-foot diameter payload fairing. It's that structure on the very top of the rocket. This protects the satellites from aerodynamic heating, loads, any kind of contamination that they might experience during ascent. But once we reach the vacuum of space, we no longer need those fairing halves, and we jettison them while the second stage continues to orbit. The fairing halves we're using today are a brand new set, which means we'll be attempting to recover them today using our 2 recovery ships, Mystery and Mischief.
Look at that.
2 minutes
What do you
before
say?
the fairings
Say,
are set to land,
Mischief?
the team will decide if conditions are good to make a safe catch attempt. Now, weather plays a big factor in the decision, as it can impact not only the sea states for the boats, but also the fairing's altitude, position, and speed, all of which impact how the fairing will fall back to Earth. And finally, around the Falcon 9 rocket is that large truss structure. It's called the Transporter Erector. We call it the TE. The TE rolls Falcon 9 to the launch pad and raises it to that vertical launch position, and also routes things like power, fluids, and communication to the rocket and satellite.
Hi, I'm John Innsbrucker, Falcon 9 Principal Integration Engineer here at SpaceX.
Hey, John.
We're coming up on 8 minutes to launch, and all conditions continue to be go for launch. Falcon 9 rolled out to the pad Sunday afternoon about 25 hours before launch and went vertical 4 hours later. Now, more recently, the SpaceX launch director held the go, no-go poll for both prop load and launch. That was done at T-minus 38 minutes. Now, we're currently working, no issues on the Falcon 9 launch vehicle. If we do have to call a hold on today's launch, we have a nearly 4-hour window that could allow us to reload the ultra-cold liquid oxygen and make another launch attempt today. Of course, that presumes that we understand whatever caused us to hold the count and we can safely proceed with a recycle and launch. Now, if we cannot continue today, we have a backup opportunity tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Now, we've been loading propellants on Falcon 9 since T-minus 35 minutes, putting fuel into both stages and oxidizer into the first stage. Our fuel is the refined form of kerosene known as RP1. The fuel is fully loaded on the second stage, and we're going to finish loading the first stage in about another minute. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, our oxidizer is super chilled liquid oxygen. We call it LOX. Now, the LOX is currently loading into both the first and second stage. You can see the mist streaming off of the first and second stage tanks.
Engine chill has started.
Now, I mentioned it is super chilled. We do this in order to load more LOX into the tanks and increase performance. Typically, launch providers use LOX right near its boiling point of about 300 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. At SpaceX, we chill the LOX about 40 degrees colder. That makes it denser. It lets us load more into the first and second stages. Now, we have to load the LOX as late as possible to keep it from warming up and decreasing the performance. We're also finishing helium loading onto the first and second stage tanks. Now, as the Merlin engine pumps pull the RP1 and LOX out of the tanks, we need to fill that emptying volume that we call the ullage. We use the helium stored in pressure vessels on the stages, and it's heated by the exhaust of the engine's gas generators. Heating the helium helps it expand to fill the tanks. Now, a moment ago at T-minus 7 minutes, we heard engine chill begins. We're now allowing a small amount of the super chilled liquid oxygen to flow past the turbopump inlets. That's cooling them down to avoid thermal shocks when we light the engines at T-minus 2 seconds. On the spacecraft side, the team did transition the ANASIS-II payload to internal battery power starting inside of T-minus 30 minutes. That work is complete. There are no issues, and there are no further actions required before launch.
Awesome.
We're launching out of the eastern range. The good news is air and sea space is clear. Weather balloons that have been released show the upper altitude weather is good. We did have to delay the T0 30 minutes for a small rain shower that was crossing the trajectory path. That was moving out of the way, so right now weather looks to be good for a launch in just over 5 minutes as all systems continue to be go for liftoff at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
It's looking pretty great there weather-wise.
As we mentioned earlier, our customer today is Lockheed Martin on behalf of the Republic of Korea. We now have a quick message to share from Korea's president of the Agency for Defense Development.
Are they going to play music with it?
안녕하십니까.
Oh, no.
국방과학연구소 소장 남세규입니다. 코로나19로 어려운 환경에도 불구하고 아나시스-II
Falcon 9
위성
propellant
발사에
tanks are pressurizing for
동참하시는
strong back recharge.
여러분께 감사드립니다.
Okay, well, so you guys can go back and read through this. I don't want to sit here and read this, but what I do want to show real quick before we go, just because I didn't show this beforehand, an idea on the trajectory today. Here's the path. A lot of times we see northeasterly paths, but this is going directly to the east. This is going to be like equatorial geostationary orbit, pretty much right around the equator here. So this is directly to the east from Launch Pad 40, heading out here. You can see the drone ship out in this region, and this is where the fairing recovery is going to be. That's the green pin there, is fairing recovery. No second stage re-entry today. So a lot of times we see a hazard. This is the hazards map where they publish airplane and ship hazards to like keep out areas. No second stage hazard, which likely means that they're going to put the second stage into a disposal orbit and not return it back to Earth. So it'll be up there in disposal orbit, which can either be an outer orbit around Earth, or they can eject it into heliocentric orbit as well. So that likely that second stage is not coming back to Earth. But that's I wanted to show the trajectory so you can get an idea on what we're seeing here today. And all right.
We're currently 3.5 minutes from liftoff. Falcon 9 is now moving into the final stages of the countdown. The vehicle remains in good health. Now, during that video, the transporter erector strongback did retract to the launch position, moved a couple degrees away. That's what we need, sufficient for liftoff of the Falcon 9. Fuel loading is complete on both first and second stages. The liquid oxygen loading is wrapping up on the first stage and will complete at T-minus 2 minutes on the second stage. Now, 1 minute before liftoff, you'll hear the announcement that Falcon 9 is in startup. That means the rocket's internal computers on first and second stage are controlling the launch countdown. Now, the mission manager reports the ANASIS-II space vehicle continues to be go. The range continues to be green for launch, and the weather is looking good. Now, once again, as a reminder, if we don't launch today, we have a backup opportunity tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Two and a half minutes to launch. We have closed out the first stage liquid oxygen load. That just leaves stage 2 LOX loading to finish.
This is looking like a beautiful sight here. So the next big thing that's going to come up is going to be ground gas closeouts. So we've got a couple things that are coming up there. It's going to switch to start the switch to internal power. Stage 2 LOX loading will be completed, and then ground gas closeouts. That's at just over a minute and a half, like 1 minute and 35 seconds, and that's going to produce a big vent of liquid oxygen that you'll see streaming out of the interstage there, the black section between the first and second stage. You'll see a big vent starting at about 1 minute and 35 seconds, or within a second or two after that. So there's LOX loading complete for stage 2.
Completes propellant loading on the Falcon 9. Stage 2 LOX load, the last one to finish up inside of 2 minutes. We'll now begin venting down the plumbing lines that go up that strong back that you can see behind the Falcon 9. So if you see a plume of white gas coming out, that's normal.
So here you go. You can hear the sounds there. Luckily, Launchpad 40 has great pad microphones. Love the pad microphones at Launchpad 40. They're amazing.
You can see in the view from the camera, we're now venting down the liquid oxygen lines on the strong back, getting ready for launch. Next event will be startup, coming at T-minus 1 minute.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
And I'll get all this stuff out of the way here in a minute. I just want to keep the...
We're in startup. We're now pressurizing first and second stage tanks for flight.
I want to keep the events list up as long as possible so you can see the things that are happening.
Countdown net, go for launch.
There we go.
There we go. The final call to SpaceX launch director is given to go for launch. We're at T-minus 35 seconds and counting. All systems are go.
So here we go. Launch directors go.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Beautiful day. Getting back to launching. Here we go. 20 seconds. Look at this gorgeous view here.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight. T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
Yeah.
Liftoff. Woo. M1E propulsion is nominal.
She's off. Off to the races. Good tracking camera today. A little shaky, but... looking great.
Plus 40
Look
seconds.
at that, just that deep blue sky behind it. That's awesome. That's going to get some awesome photos.
They're throttling down, getting ready to reduce vehicle acceleration in preparation for the period of maximum dynamic pressure.
So max Q here, we'll throw up the displays again here.
Bucket, as they call it.
So we're coming up on max Q here.
Now the Merlin engine's coming back up to full power as we get ready to go supersonic.
Right before max Q is what's called the throttle bucket, where they throttle it down and then they come out the other side with throttle up, so it kind of looks like a bucket.
We're coming through the period of maximum dynamic pressure.
Vehicle has reached maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Guidance engineer confirms we're through the period of greatest pressure on the vehicle. Continuing downrange, trajectory looks good, propulsion looks good, avionics looks good.
It's coming right at me. I feel like they're intentionally pointing it at me here.
Embagni chill has started.
That announcement from stage 2 propulsion.
Coming up on MECO at 2:32.
On the upper stage engine to get ready for its ignition, coming up in about 45 seconds.
feel like I could reach out and touch
Nice
it,
view from
except
the
my green
SpaceX
screen ends
cameras
right
at
there.
Cape Canaveral as we head east out of Space Launch Complex 40 into the first of 2 orbits planned for today. This orbit is the parking orbit, a low Earth orbit trajectory that will take us over the equator and will eventually relight the upper stage engine.
So, and you can see that engine plume like really spread out as it gets in the upper atmosphere, and there's not as much air pressure to keep the engine exhaust in one nice little neat stream, so it starts to expand and go outwards. That's why you see that exhaust trail just kind of flower out like that, which is really cool. But right here should be MECO. Right now. MECO. There it is. Separation.
Stage separation confirmed.
Oh. Watch the stiffener ring on the right screen there. Right around the engine bell, it'll break off. Here it goes. Stiffener ring right there.
And the call-out MVAC-D engine is at full power. The view on the left screen, you can see the large titanium grid fins now slowly opening. That begins about a 2-minute period as we slowly rotate the first stage around to get it ready to come back through the atmosphere and land on the drone ship in the Atlantic off the east coast of Florida.
Is it just me, or do these pictures look like super high quality today? It might just be the lighting or the time of day, but like that picture, the picture on the left and the right, but particularly the one on the left looks like super crisp on my monitor here. I don't know if you guys are seeing that too, but it looks really, really crisp, that first stage booster one on the left side. That looks awesome.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Does anyone know where the ring went? That stiffener ring.
Call out from the avionics engineer. Fairing separation is confirmed.
Oh, fairing separation. We didn't get to see that. Oh, there it is on the right screen,
I think you can
left-hand side.
see in the background behind the MVAC-D nozzle, one half of the fairing way in the distance as it went past the camera.
That's always
so right
cool to
now
see.
We're coming up 4 minutes into flight. Trajectory is looking excellent. We're right down the middle of the road. Power on the upper stage engine is good. Bermuda is now getting the telemetry from the Falcon 9, and we're getting great views from space at T plus 4 minutes and 13 seconds.
Curious what my stream quality is here. Oh, it's actually 1080. So sometimes
For those
they
of you
stream
just joining us, we had a successful liftoff of our Falcon 9 rocket at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time from Cape Canaveral. On the right-hand side of your screen, our second stage, its engine is glowing
that was kind of cool.
We continue to take the ANASIS-II satellite payload to its desired orbit. On the left-hand side, our first stage. We're beginning to...
All right, I'm going to mute this guy for a second. Did you see on the right-hand side, the engine bell, there was a little bit of, like, solidified oxygen that kind of broke off and went in the distance, but not only did it break off and go away, but then it started, like, I don't know, it was like turning gaseous again. It was kind of, I don't know, it was really weird looking, right at 4:30. We might have to look at that again, but it looked like solidified oxygen that then was like somehow becoming gaseous again, or I don't know, that was weird. It might have just been the lighting of it, because usually it would solidify and then that would be it from like vacuum freezing.
That recovery attempt status, but stay tuned on social media for updates.
So at this point here, we'll throw up our timeline here. So we're waiting on booster apogee has occurred. So that booster apogee was just a couple of minutes ago, like 1 minute ago, and now the booster is descending, coming back to Earth. We're waiting on booster entry burn, which should be at about T plus 6 minutes and 30 seconds. That booster will light up its engines again as it comes in and slows down before it hits the bulk of the atmosphere, so it doesn't just break up in the atmosphere. Then we're going to have SECO, which will be right before the landing burn. So SECO is like 1 second before the landing burn starts. So you'll see SECO, landing burn, landing on the drone ship, all within just a couple of seconds. So it'll be really, really quick. So that's coming up. SECO is about just over 8 minutes after launch here. So that's what we're. Oops, I want this one here. So that's what we're waiting on here now. Look at the boosters. Look at the booster kind of diving for the Earth there. Look how fast it's going. That looks crazy fast. I don't know the way it just. Here we go. Here's entry burn.
Our entry burn has begun. You'll see that the exhaust there will grow and start to become elliptical as we turn on the engines. The center engine fires first. The two side engines fire shortly after that. So that exhaust will seem to grow during this burn.
That was weird. Did you guys see the booster like dive for the Earth there? It looked like Looked like it was coming down in a hurry. But if you look at the cloud, there's...
Stage 1, entry burn shutdown.
Oh, here it goes.
Down,
Look at it.
one to go. That's
It's
the
flattening
landing
out
burn.
again. That's kind of
It
cool.
will occur in about 1 minute from now. Along
I don't know if I've noticed that so drastically before in the past, where it kind of dove in for the entry burn and then flattened out after the entry burn was completed. Look at how fast it's coming in past those clouds. Of course, the stream's going to cut out now. Yep, there it goes. Downlink's lost. But it was coming in so fast through those clouds.
Falcon 9 will touch down, hopefully, on our drone ship. Just read the instructions. Currently, it's in the Atlantic.
Drone ship's looking a little used. Needs a new paint job, I think.
Terminal guidance.
Here we go, right? Just over 8 minutes, like 8:06 is when we should have second stage cut off and the landing burn will start.
Drag alone is slowing the first stage down another 80%. That landing burn will take us back to get that last 20%, touch us down safely.
Here we go. We're coming up about 15 seconds to second engine cutoff and the start of the landing burn.
Just under 10 seconds from landing burn and SECO 1.
So SECO 1's supposed to be at 8:06, but it looks like they're going to go... Oh, there it is. SECO right there. Just this is delayed a little bit.
Stage 1, landing burn, startup.
There we go.
Confirmation of both landing burn and SECO 1. We're waiting confirmation of a good orbital insertion for that ANASIS-II satellite.
Now stick to landing. Here it comes. Are we going to get clean video? There's the shake. There's the shake. Are we going to get clean video or is it going to cut out?
Landing laser deploying now.
Landing legs. Oh, a lot of shake. Oh,
No,
losing the
orbit
video.
insertion.
Oh, I see it. See it. Yeah.
And there it is. That is our 57th successful landing with
Look at
Falcon
that.
9 on our drone ship. Just read the instructions. While we were watching that landing, we also had confirmation of nominal orbit insertion. We're all pretty excited over here at SpaceX for being able to use this first stage for a third time coming up.
Look at that.
But going back to our primary mission on the second stage, it's going to coast for about 18 minutes until we cross the equator, where we perform the second of 2 burns of the upper stage, help change the orbit. We're going to take a break until then. We're going to leave you with a map of where we are in the mission. We'll be back at about T plus 26 minutes for the second burn of our MVAC engine.
More clapping. What are they clapping about here now? I don't know. All right, well, so now it's back to us. We'll chat it up a little bit. We're going to go back and look at the 4 minute and 30 second mark because there's a little piece of that solidified oxygen that broke off there. It was kind of cool looking. It was one of the cooler pieces of debris, I guess, that I've seen in one of the launches. So that was kind of cool looking. We're gonna go back and take a look at that in just a second here. But to give you a recap, so right now they're in parking orbit, which is essentially the lower Earth orbit, just to be stable right now. So they're stable in that low Earth orbit. You can actually see in the here, I'll do it in even the bigger screen here. You can see the gray line here, like I can't really point to it, but stage 2 is over here. You can see it on the map, right? It's hard to point my finger in the right direction. It's all mirrored to me. But stage 2 is on the gray line, and this is the path that it's going to take. This blue line here. This blue line right here, this is going to be the next pass. The next orbit that it takes will be on the blue line. So after it goes around the Earth one entire time, it'll be on that blue line right there. So let's see. Something came off a minute before on the left screen. You got to give me a specific timestamp there, Robert. I'm not sure where you're referring to. Let's see. SpaceX gets first shutdown. Yep. Best landing video you've seen. I've seen a little better. That wasn't terrible. That was okay. I've seen better though. We'll take a look at that one more time. So we have to give you back to our where we are in the mission here right now. So we're in parking orbit. We're waiting for second stage restart. That's going to happen at T plus 26 minutes. So we got some time. We're only at 11 minutes right now. So at T plus 26 minutes, that's when second stage restart's going to happen. You get a quick burn. It's less than a minute, almost a minute, but a little bit less than a minute, a few seconds short of it. Then you'll have second engine cut off again. Then you'll have deployment is at about T plus 32 minutes. So we got about 20 minutes to go here before we get to the end of this mission and the deployment. Then fairing catch is not until about T plus 45 minutes. We'll probably hear nothing about that on the broadcast today. SpaceX isn't even going to mention it because they'll probably end the broadcast before we get to that point. So the only way you'll find out about fairing catch with the big net ships is probably going to be on Twitter. So this is the point where I say follow Overlook Horizon on Twitter, because I'll probably tweet it out if we hear something. Sometimes we hear nothing, which is usually not good news. If we hear nothing, it usually means they didn't catch it and they just scooped it out of the water. But if they actually catch it, they're usually pretty quick to broadcast that. Let me see what else we got. Discuss the solid oxygen thing, please. Yeah, we're gonna go take a look at that in just a second. I just want to take a look through the comments, see what I missed. How to look at a rocket? I'm not sure that question. This was the same booster that successfully launched Crew Dragon. Yes, that is correct. Same booster as Crew Dragon with Bob and Doug back on May 30th. Let's see. Unless it's 2 for 2. How do I look? Okay. Scroll back to 430. Yeah, something small. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at the 430 mark in just a second. How far from the shore is the barge? It's about 300. I think it's like about 300 miles. Here, I'm going to type exclamation booster. I put in the exact, I think it's like 627 kilometers downrange, the booster. There you go. I just put in the YouTube chat there. When is Starlink? We don't know. Starlink's going to be the next mission after this. Likely the next mission. Starlink and also SAOCOM 1B. SAOCOM 1B is going to be a really cool mission. So that's one that you're going to want to come for, because that's going to be really unique. I actually have a video on our YouTube channel about, it's called like SpaceX is about to launch something historic or something. I forget what, I don't remember what I titled my own video. But it's a historic launch, SAOCOM 1B. There's a video on my YouTube channel all about why it's historic and why cows prevented us from doing this historic mission in the past. Kind of an interesting story. All right, let's see. What's the difference in fuel cost between Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy? Falcon Heavy has 3 cores, so it's about 3 times the fuel cost. But fuel is actually a small portion of the actual cost itself. The cores, the first stage booster cores themselves, the actual structure, is actually the majority of the cost of the rockets. But I think Elon said that it's about $500,000 in fuel for a Falcon 9. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's $500,000 in fuel for a Falcon 9, which, like, $500,000 compared to the actual, like, $60 million cost of launching a Falcon 9 rocket. Very, very small portion. Let's see. All right, let's go back and look at... Sorry, I'm looking at all the comments. Is it going to a similar orbit as Hubble? No. Well, yeah, it's in... Yeah, I guess similar, or Hubble's in geostationary orbit, right? So it is going to... It's not going anywhere near Hubble, but it is a geostationary orbiting satellite. I don't know where the Hubble is. What do I think about it? Is Hubble geostationary? I don't know. Somebody look that up for me. All right, let's go back and look at... Let's go back and look at T plus 4 minutes and 30 seconds, because that's where you'll get the conspiracy theorists coming in that say that there's a mouse on the rocket. There's no mice on the rocket. Oh, there it is. Actually, that was really good. Oh, there it is. Oh, you're going to have... The conspiracy theorists are going to have a field day with this. They're going to love this. I can see it already. This is where... Right up here, right there. That's the SpaceX mouse. Why is everything about animals on this channel? We have the space lobster. We've got the space caterpillar. We had the space snake at one point that was in competition with the space caterpillar, but space caterpillar won out. Now we've got the space mouse. This is where everybody will freak out about. They're saying, "Look it, it's a mouse. I'm telling you, it's a mouse." Where's my mouse? Speaking of mouse. Here's where it is. So this is the liquid oxygen vent port right here. So you can see a whole big blob. Blump. I don't know what that sound was that I just made, but a whole big blob of liquid oxygen right here, right there. And you're actually going to see, they're going to switch cameras to the other side here, and you'll see a bit of solidify. There it goes. So you can see it break off. I should like slow this down. You'll see it break off from right here, right there, breaks off, and then it gets stuck on this piping here and slides down. That's what all the conspiracy theorists call a mouse on the thing. I don't know why we're obsessed with calling it a mouse. It's not a mouse, and actually, if you watch it long enough, I see why it did that. If they stayed on this camera long enough, you would see this actually evaporate, because the engine bell is hot and this piping is hot. It's not as hot as it is, at the end of the engine bell there, but eventually it will evaporate. As far as I know, mice don't evaporate. So this is why the whole mouse thing is kind of a silly comment to me. But if you watch this piece breaks off. Actually looks like it touches the engine bell and almost instantly starts vaporizing. Where was that? Did we miss it already? Thought it was at 4:30. Did I back up too far? Right here. I think it's this blob here of the liquid oxygen that we see is going to break off. It's going to touch the engine bell and start evaporating instantly because that engine bell is so hot. All right, yeah, there's our mouse. Oh, I must have backed up too far. So there's our mouse again. There's the space mouse. Oh, God. All right, here you go. Right there. There's our liquid oxygen piece. Boom, touches the end. I don't know if it actually touches it. It's very, very close, but it's probably close enough where it's going to start evaporating here. Let's see. I think we missed it. Here it goes, right there. There you go. There's a little piece that's solidified oxygen right here. This is the liquid oxygen vent port that comes out of the bottom of the second stage there. Liquid oxygen vent port. It's just, they do what's called engine chill, which means before they ignite the engines, they flow liquid oxygen through the plumbing of the engine so that you don't get a shock to the system. That liquid oxygen is super, super cold, like negative 300 degrees. And if all of a sudden you just rush in a whole bunch of liquid oxygen at turbo pump speeds, it gonna break. So they flow slowly some liquid oxygen through there in a process called engine chill. They do that on the first stage too. They also do it on the second stage. On the second stage, you can actually see when it vents, it solidifies. So this is a little piece of that solidified oxygen right there, and then you get it. Let's see if I can. Right here. I don't know if it does kind of look like it touches this end of the engine bell there. Here it goes. I couldn't do it fast enough, but right there you can see it. It's just evaporating. Then it just goes away in a big poof. Let's do it again. I see all the comments flying by. I'm sure everybody's having a field day. Whew, look at that. That actually looks really cool because that was a big piece of solid oxygen. Right there. That's really cool looking. I like that. I know that everybody, you're going to have the conspiracy theorists going nuts with that. Maybe not so much that, but they're going to go nuts about the mouse on the other side. The mouse on the other side is going to drive people nuts. Where is it? Right here. Here it goes. There it is. Breaks off. And the mouse crawling around. All right. Let's see. All right, let's dive into the comments. Let's see what you got. Who's 340 miles up for Hubble is low Earth orbit. All right, thanks for looking that up there, Alchemist. They always show us the same video. It's a different video. You can see, just look at the clouds in the background. It's different. Let's see, going back through, I want to see what we've got for comments. Hubble is low Earth orbit. Thanks everybody for looking that up. Needed, oh, right, yeah, needed shuttle to launch it. Of course, should have thought about that. I didn't really put two and two together there. Let's see. Oh, they always show up. Yeah, no, we already saw that. The SpaceX broadcast shows trajectory of stage 2. If it's on the site, then give us. I'm not sure what that means. T plus 17. Oh, that's your. Will we just look? T plus 417. That's your conspiracy mouse that we looked at. Why did they launch a rocket? It's a defense satellite for South Korea. How does this guy know so much? I've just been doing it for a long time, and I'm a space nerd. That's that's all there is to it. There's no magic secret. Man, there's so many comments I can't keep up. Go nuts! Space conspiracy theorists are already going nuts. Yeah, I know. Just need a space cat to get the space mouse. Now we're talking. Yeah, Gregorius, I always wanted to know what they meant by the mouse. Yeah, I don't understand why the conspiracy theorists call that the mouse. There it is. I'll show it again here. It's right there. There's the mouse. It's not a mouse. Just solid oxygen from the vent port. You can literally see it detach from the vent port right here. It's attached to the vent port right now. Hold on, I don't understand. It makes me want to shout through the Twitter sphere. Right here, it's attached to the vent port. It breaks off and it comes down here. Why are you calling this a mouse? It's not a mouse. Oh, it drives me nuts. Anyways, obviously it's a different mouse each time. Will that ice chunk re-enter Earth or orbit for decades? It would eventually, if it stayed solidified, it would eventually deorbit, because they're in a parking orbit, but it's not a, infinitely stable orbit. When are Bob and Doug returning? August 1st, they detach from the space station. Why am I drawing a blank on what the correct terminology is for that? Undock. Wow. Very hard English words. They're going to undock from the space station on August 1st. Then they're going to come back to Earth on August 2nd. You know when the next astronauts are launching? It's probably going to be, I think it's like late August that it's scheduled for. I don't think we have a specific date yet, though. Tell us more about the stiffening ring. The stiffening ring's on the end of the second stage engine bell, and it's really just for transport and, like, holding the engine bell in place while it's inside the interstage. It breaks off every time. Always breaks off. Let's see, let's back up. Right at separation, right around here. So the stiffening ring, for those people that don't know, is this little ring right there that breaks off. Why can I not pause this? What's happening to my computer? Okay, well, while that figures itself out, I'll just keep talking. Have you signed up for Starlink Internet? I did sign up for the beta test. I haven't heard anything, but all right, there's the stiffening ring right there on the outside, and it breaks off when the engine bell starts. Right there. Potentially breaks off. Just a little bit of flexing from the engine bell, I believe, is what breaks that off. Undock and deorbit. Thank you, MVM. Yeah. It's hard to talk live. You know when you've got that easy word that's right on the tip of your tongue, and you're just like, why am I not intelligent enough to think of that word? Beta tests only in the U.S. I believe it's the northern U.S. and Canada that's eligible, potentially eligible for early service. I mean, right now we haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything, but I did sign up, so if I hear something, I'll let people know. Is it going over the UK? No, this was going like east-southeast. So it's pretty much going over the equator. So not going to come up near the UK today. Is the bell red hot? Yes. You can keep denying yourselves that these are live launches till you feel and hear a rocket launch in person. That is for sure. Seeing it in person makes it so much better. Just to feel that rumble. I'd love that. I gotta get down there. It's too bad we got this whole pandemic thing going on. I'd love to get down there, but Florida's not a great place to be right now. Sorry if you're in Florida, but I'm not traveling there for a while. Oh, SpaceX is talking again? Are we at that point now? Why can I not? What's happening with my Let's see. So we should be... Oh, yeah. T plus 26 minutes. Here we go. Go a lot. What's happening with my... Something's happening with my computer here. Oh, here we go. So we're back live again. This is... Restart.
This burn, just under a minute long, is going to add another 2.5 kilometers per second to that velocity. That's what it'll take to get the satellite and the second stage into the geosynchronous transfer orbit. We're throttling down, getting ready to shut down the engine.
We should have shut down pretty much right now. It's a quick burn, just under 1 minute. Seems like it's kind of going long.
Seco 2.
There you go. There's Seco 2.
Seco 2 confirming the second stage engine cutoff number 2. Now we're going to wait and listen for guidance to tell us how the orbit looks.
So now you can see this is going to be in... Where's our... You can see our speed there. 35,000 kilometers per hour. Way on the right side. Way over there. 35,000 kilometers per hour this thing is now traveling relative to the Earth. And that'll be the final deployment orbit, which is geostationary transfer orbit.
And we haven't heard guidance engineer call out, but looking at the data plots that we've got from vehicle telemetry, we've got a nominal orbit.
I think you just said
so
nominal
we are
orbit.
into the desired geostationary transfer orbit. The Falcon 9 second stage with the ANASIS-II spacecraft still attached. We're now going to go through a period of about 3.5 minutes where we prepare to separate the ANASIS-II satellite. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back at T plus 32 minutes for satellite deploy.
Yeah, so... Oh, hello, music. Going to go back to my music. And TP Seeker... I don't want to spend too much time on this silly mouse debate, but TP Seeker does have a good point. Those engine bells are huge. Like, to have a mouse that size, relatively speaking, we should crowdsource this and actually measure it out as to what size that mouse... That would be the biggest mouse you've ever seen. It'd be like... It's enormous. It'd be the size of like a small dog, that mouse. So TP Seeker has a good point. It would be an enormous mouse. It's not a mouse. It's just solid oxygen. What's the point of this mission? The defense satellite for South Korea. Built by Airbus, and it's going to service the Korean Peninsula for South Korea. I'm sure the North Koreans are extremely happy about that, but it's a defense satellite for South Korea. Let's see. If we went to the moon 50 years ago, why are we getting excited about sending more space junk? Well, this is a satellite to perform a new operation on Earth. That's like saying if we built the first computer 30 years ago, why do we get excited about new computers that come out? Well, it's because it's new. It has new stuff and provides new services. That's why we get excited for new stuff, because it does new things. I mean, just because we built a new computer 30 years ago doesn't mean we should stop building computers. Same thing with new satellites. We went to the moon, 51 years ago, but that doesn't mean that we should stop doing new things in space and providing new services. So, it's new. It's new because it's new. It's exciting because it's new. You know what I'm saying. So we're waiting on deployment here. That'll be up in about 2 minutes now. Windows 98 has never been better. I like that. What is the lifetime of the satellite? How does it stay fueled? Well, I mean, all those satellites have a finite amount of propellant. But generally they have way more propellant than they need. So most of the time I don't know the specific lifetime of this satellite, but most of the time they plan on them being anywhere from 5 to 15 years of lifetime. So sometimes they shoot for a lot of times you'll see them shoot for 5 years, but they'll publish and say this is a satellite that's going to give us data for 5 years. But secretly in the back room, they're like, this thing better last 10 or 15 years. Otherwise I'm going to be mad. But a lot of times they just say they just need to get 5 years out of it to make it worthwhile, basically. And these are just example numbers. I don't know if that's specifically for this satellite, because I don't know what the lifespan is for this. But if you're going to geostationary orbit, usually you're going to want something that lasts a while. Let's go back. Still exciting. They're reusing rockets now, non-wasteful space missions. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're reusing that first stage now. That's super exciting. It's always crazy to see them land an orbital class booster on a floating ship in the middle of the ocean. That's crazy to me every time, even though that's the 57th time they've landed a booster.
Go by the trajectory, but when we launched, had great skies. We had great views from first stage and second stage. Saw the first stage land on the drone ship. We've done the 2 burns of the upper stage engine. Both of them were nominal. But right now we're getting ready for the big event, which is spacecraft separation. And as a reminder, we won't see payload deploy today per the customer's request. So we're going to listen in for the avionics engineer to call it.
It should be right now. We're just going to hear it. Not going to see it, as John
Payload
said.
separation confirmed.
There it is. There's confirmation.
And there it is. Avionics engineer calls. Payload separation has deployed, confirming that via telemetry. And so 32 minutes, 49 seconds into flight. That's the camper. We've done the primary mission. We've brought the first stage back to the drone ship. It's been a great day. Took a little while getting here, but well worth it with a totally successful mission today.
Bingo. Thanks, John.
And with that successful payload separation, that will end our coverage for today. We want to say thank you to Lockheed Martin and the Republic of Korea for entrusting us with today's flight. Also, a special thanks goes out to the 45th Space Wing for range support and to the Federal Aviation Administration for licensing support. And of course, thank you for watching. Have a good night.
See ya. All right. Oh, music. Hello. All right. So, that's it for them. It's done. We're going to talk for a little bit. I'm going to move around. I'm still trying to get used to my new chair. I got a new chair, like one of those balance chairs. You guys can't see this. Let me just, I'm gonna put this in my next video that I put out. It's just this balance chair of me. Oh, trying to go the other way. Anyways, sorry, I'm just playing around now. Yeah, so satellite's in its final orbit there. We didn't get a chance to see it, and that's because the customer requested that they not show it. Likely because it is a defense satellite, so they're not going to show us top secret stuff. So they didn't show us that. But it will take the next couple of days and weeks. I saw a question in there, I forget who asked it, that somebody asked why or how long it was going to take to get in its final orbit. I don't have the answer to that either. I don't think they've published that, because a lot of stuff is secret about this because it's a defense satellite for South Korea. They're not just going to go willy-nilly publishing all the information and the details about it, because they want to keep a lot of that secret. So, but yeah, they've successfully deployed at this point, and their primary mission is complete. Now that second stage is going to go on to a disposal orbit. So after they get a lot of room and space between the second stage and the spacecraft, that second stage will likely burn again and head out into a disposal orbit. Not enough fuel for it to come back to Earth. But once it gets to perigee, it'll probably run another burn to get itself into disposal orbit, so that it's likely, I would guess that this is going to go into a heliocentric disposal orbit, so that it will be basically out of the way. So that second stage will stay up there. Second stage will stay up there forever. First stage, though, came back, landed on the drone ship. The booster landed on the drone ship. Let's see. The mouse will be in orbit for a few days. We're stuck on that mouse. How much will it cost a satellite with all the launching charges and everything? I'd like to buy one. I think a ride on the Falcon 9 is about $60 million. So that you got to build your own satellite, but you can get a ride on the Falcon 9 for a cool $60 million. There you go. Sebi, our moderator, sent me a message on Discord. We want to see your prints. I don't know what that means. What do you mean, my prints? Did I say something about prints? What did I say? Alex Ziggyful's in on it too. What are you guys talking about? If you want to join, speaking of which, segue, if you want to join the Discord, type !Discord in the YouTube chat and I'll give you an invitation link to join our Discord. Only need one person to do it. Nightbot's only going to respond once, but if you type !Discord in the YouTube chat, first one to do it will get an invite from Nightbot. Everybody can use it, so it doesn't have to be a race. You don't all have to race and try to get an invite link. It's going to be an invite link that any of you can use to join our Discord. And you can chat with us after the fact. We got a lot of things that we chat about in there, between space stuff and 3D printing and weather balloons and all kinds of any other stuff you want to geek out about. Oh, 3D prints. We want to see your prints. Now I'm tempted to just go get them now. Let's see. Hello, please shout me out. All right. I don't like to do a lot of shout outs, but hello, Fulvio. What happens to the belt that breaks off? Where does it go? I mean, it'll be in the parking orbit for a little while, and then eventually it would deorbit. Holy smokes. Sebi says the sun burnt my brain. It's gonna deorbit. Wow. What? Where did I come up with that word? Oh, God. Deorbit. Yep. That's how you know it's been a couple weeks since I've done a live stream. Oh, God, that one tickled me. The stiffener ring's gonna deorbit. Oh, I'm crying. Ah, deorbit. That one got me. Oh, jeez. Look at me, I'm crying now. Woo! I should go get the 3D prints. My face is turning red. I'm crying from deorbit. Oh my goodness. Wow. A new scientific term invented. Whew. Now I'm getting hot. My face is getting flush. Oh, that was a good one. Haven't had one of those in a while. Deorbit. Okay, so the stiffener ring. Can we recover this? Can we get the train back on the tracks? The stiffener ring is going to deorbit, otherwise known as deorbit, eventually from atmospheric drag. And, man, I can't recover from that. Tim Dodd has a nominal shirt. Tori needs a deorbit shirt. I think we got to make one of those. We're going to have to make that into a shirt. Deorbit. I don't even know what the correct spelling is for deorbit. Otherwise known as deorbit. Take a little break, get your 3D prints. Maybe I will grab those real quick so I can recover. And get the train back on the tracks. Can we talk about the correct spelling? You guys debate the correct spelling. We'll play a replay of deorbit. We'll play a replay here, and I'll go get my 3D prints. See if we can recover this. So let's do a launch replay here. Let's see. I can go to here. Still crying. We'll throw our replay text up, and so will every satellite deorbit at some point? Yeah, it just depends on how long the satellite has been up there. Or not how long the satellite's been up there. God. I quit. That's it. I'm done. I quit. It depends on the orbit that they're in, the altitude. The higher the altitude that you're in, the more stable your orbit is in. So it would take, little higher orbits would take thousands and thousands of years to deorbit. Eventually you get to the point where you're not going to deorbit. Oh my goodness, I almost said... I'm going to get the 3D prints. God, I can't talk. Watch the replay. I just say it depends. I'm losing it. All right. Here you go. Watch the replay. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get my 3D prints. We're going to move on from here. I'll be right back. Watch the replay.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight. T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff. M1D propulsion is nominal.
plus 40 seconds. Everything looking good? That's the call out. Says M1D engines are throttling down, getting ready to reduce vehicle acceleration in preparation for the period of maximum dynamic pressure. We're in the bottom of the throttle bucket, as they call it. Now the Merlin engine's coming back up to full power as we get ready to go supersonic.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Supersonic, we're coming through the period of maximum dynamic pressure.
Vehicle has reached maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Guidance engineer confirms we're through the period of greatest pressure on the vehicle. Continuing downrange, trajectory looks good. Propulsion looks good. Avionics looks good.
And backseat chill has started.
That announcement from stage 2 propulsion. We are now beginning to chill in the turbopump on the upper stage engine to get ready for its ignition coming up in about 45 seconds. Nice view from the SpaceX cameras at Cape Canaveral as we head east out of Space Launch Complex 40 into the first of 2 orbits planned for today. This orbit is the parking orbit, a low Earth orbit trajectory that will take us over the equator and will eventually relight the upper stage engine to transfer us into the desired geostationary transfer orbit. Now main engine cutoff, or MECO, coming up in several seconds, followed by pneumatic separation. The first stage pushes away from the second stage, and then ignition of the second stage engine.
All right, I'm back.
Stage separation confirmed.
We got half.
MECO on time.
Look at this guy.
Stage sep looks good.
Thing's
On the
huge.
call out, MVAC-D engine is at full power. The view on the left screen, you can see the large titanium grid fins now slowly opening. That begins about a 2-minute period as we slowly rotate the first stage around to get it ready to come back through the atmosphere and land.
All right, I'm gonna mute John, and we'll turn our music back up so we can talk. We're gonna get this thing. We're gonna get this show back on track here. Welcome back. We missed you. I missed you guys too. My wife is upstairs laughing at me about deorbiting. Anyways, I got the model. Look at this thing. We started watching the replay. Oh, wrong screen. This one I wanted. Look at, there's a tree. I gotta like paint it or something, but look at this thing. This thing is huge. It's enormous. It's enormous. It's way overexposed. But there it is. There's our Falcon 9 model, and she comes apart. So you get your first stage. Look at how big this thing is. This is the first stage. It's in 3 parts here. But there's your first stage with your interstage. No, your landing legs don't move. They're just fixed on there. Oh, I almost broke it. And your engine bells on the bottom. There's your first stage. Second stage. I do have a little stand for it here, so it'll sit right there, but my table apparently is not level. So there's our second stage, and then I have the Crew Dragon for the top. I don't have any payload fairings, but I do have Crew Dragon up there. So there you go. There's the 3D prints. What I wanted to have, every time we do a Starlink mission, I wanted to show how the second stage flips around like this for a Starlink mission. This is what I wanted the props for. I gotta like paint this or something. But we haven't done that yet. So there you go. There's my 3D prints. All right. So somebody said the payload fairings landed. Are you just confirming that here by this? Let me see here. Did we have any notification about the fairing catch? I don't know. I have not seen... Oh, wait, hold on. No, haven't seen any notification about fairing catch yet. But that would have happened now. They just haven't announced anything yet. there you go. Where did you get the files for the 3D prints? I just got them on Thingiverse. I could share them on our Discord. If you jump on the Discord, I'll share them. I think I already did share them on Discord on the 3D printing channel. But if you type Steven on Twitch, because I think the commands work on Twitch too. If you type !Discord, it should give you a link to our Discord. And I think the files are in our 3D printing channel on Discord. If they're not, I will post them again. You just have to remind me because I'll forget after this. So many 3D designers actually put their designs online for free to anybody. Yeah, it's amazing how many 3D prints and design files are out there. And this is a pretty cool, I don't know, this thing I think is awesome. Like, look at the size of this thing. It took forever to print. But you got this one, and they fit together here like this pretty nicely. It's too big for me to even show on camera in one shot. We gotta go diagonally. There you go. No, we were gonna want it to go up. This way. There you go. Look at the size of that. Thing's huge. Kind of cool. And I did it white so that I could paint it. So, at some point, I'm gonna paint it or something, so it looks a little nicer. Maybe throw some decals on it. Gonna put it somewhere safe. Don't want you guys watching me break my 3D print on air and crying in sadness. You've already seen me crying from laughter. Let's see. Replay the booster landing. Oh, it's coming right up. Right here. Let me get out of the way. Here's the replay of the booster landing. Pretty good video booster landing, too. Oh, it's not happening yet. We've got about 30 seconds, so we're coming up here in just a minute. What's happening in 48 minutes? Megan, you're reading it wrong. It was 48 minutes ago. We're at T plus 48 minutes, so we're counting up now. We're not counting down. 48 minutes ago was the launch. So you're 48 minutes late to the party, but we still appreciate you being here. Starlink, this is... Let's see what else we've got here before we wrap up for the day. Super secret satellite deployment confirmed. Yeah, that was a few minutes ago, so we're pretty much done here for the day. Here you go. Here's your landing burn right here. We'll watch that again.
And the landing
Stage one.
So landing laser deploying now.
Pretty good video, too. All the way in, we could see the whole thing. Kinda. A little bit grainy and pixelated, but just for a second.
There it is. That is our 57th successful landing.
Then it came in pretty much right dead center. Like, look at that landing. Dead center there. And that's the booster. Again, that's the booster that flew Bob and Doug to the International Space Station back in May. So, reused booster. Hands up, don't shoot. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate the super chat. Said at least the booster returned, unlike my dad. That's very sad. Hands up, don't shoot. I hope you're joking about that, but if you're not, I feel for you. But thanks, I appreciate the super chat. You gonna live stream the Perseverance rover launch? Yes, we probably will do that. Had to get past this launch before I could think of anything else, but yeah, we'll probably do the Perseverance launch, because that's a pretty big deal with the Mars helicopter. Made a TikTok about the Mars helicopter. Might make a YouTube video about it, but depends on if I have enough time. I'm running out of time. I got so many videos in the works right now. We're trying to put them all together. Just have to edit them. GVA Morning Show. Thanks for the super chat. Tori, what's up? When's your next gaming stream? Probably gonna be after I finish editing these videos that I was talking about. So I got like 3 videos I'm working on editing right now. So I gotta get one of them out. Right now they're all in pieces. So once I can get at least one of these videos out, then I can take a breather. Are Bob and Doug back yet? No, not until August 2nd they come back. August 1st they undock. I'm a heli pilot. I'll drive. It's pretty awesome if you're a helicopter pilot. But I don't think you'll fit in the Mars helicopter. It's teeny tiny. Pretty cool little thing, the Mars helicopter, though. And so Mars helicopter is flying with the Mars Perseverance rover, and the rover, after it sets the helicopter down and pulls away, is going to take at least images, but I think it's taking video of the helicopter flying on Mars. First aircraft on another planet. Crazy. Mars only has 1% atmosphere that we have here on Earth, so the rotors, the rotor blades have to spin 6 times faster than a regular helicopter would spin here on Earth. Crazy. Did they already deorbit? Yeah, no. The first stage landed. Second stage is not going to deorbit. And by that I mean deorbit. That's going into disposal orbit. I wonder if it's a nominal orbit. I believe that would be pronounced nominal orbitation. I believe is the correct terminology there. Yeah, that's... Can you explain, please, does a rocket stop in space to attach to the International Space Station? My wife is wanting to know. No, the rocket, that's actually one of the hardest parts about rendezvous in orbit, is that it doesn't stop. It's still going 17,000 miles an hour, and the space station is going 17,000 miles per hour, and you have to time that to meet up perfectly. So they do that by raising and lowering the orbit. So if you're in a lower orbit, you will catch up to the space station, and then they raise the orbit gradually as they get closer and closer to meet up and get to the same speed as the space station. So it's a huge, delicate balance. I'd recommend a game called Kerbal Space Program if you haven't played Kerbal Space Program, because it's very eye-opening trying to rendezvous with another craft in space. It's crazy. For the first time you play it, it's crazy hard to try to rendezvous with another spacecraft. So it's very underappreciated task that they have to perform. It's crazy hard. Hey, Framrick, thanks for the super chat. Great live stream, Tori. Well, thanks, Framrick. Glad you're here. Glad you're hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Thanks very much for the tip. What is it called? You talking about Kerbal Space Program? Kerbal's pretty awesome. Kerbal Space Program. We've live streamed that in the past. I'm probably not going to do that today. I've got some work being done. I told you guys I got my new chair today, my new wobble chair. I also got a new desk. I was supposed to put it in today. But the new desk here, it's actually a cool tabletop. I got an overhead camera. We're gonna try to start making some more videos here. So we're really trying to finish out the studio here. You guys can't tell, but it's in disarray. It needs to be much better, but we're slowly finishing out the studio. New Surface desk, the 3 cameras going in. It'll be pretty sweet in the end, but it's a slow process to get there. Then I just have to figure out what I want to make for videos. So jump on the Discord and give me some ideas. If you got ideas of videos you want to see me make. !Discord in the YouTube chat if you want an invitation. They should film it from a drone flying around the ship. They did that. I'm assuming you're talking about the booster landing. They used to do that in the early days, but they don't anymore, or at least they don't publish it, which is a shame. I would love to see like drone footage of the booster landing. Is there video of the deployment? No. The customer, which is the Republic of South Korea, specifically did not want video of the deployment. Presumably for national security. It is a defense satellite after all, so they did not want video shown of the deployment. Be sure the new chair doesn't deorbit you. Yeah, I know. It does take some getting used to, because it moves a whole lot more. It's like it's a stool, very comfortable. But it's supposed to like build your core, so it moves and shifts all over the place. The two fairings have been caught, says GVA Morning Show. Get out of town! Are you for real? Did they post that? Hold on a minute. Hold on. Oh, yeah, they have. All right, hold on. We're going to pull this up on the Twitter sphere. They have a double fairing catch today, according to Elon Musk on Twitter. Here it is. Elon himself. Wait, I don't think we have... Didn't I say that? Right there. 7 minutes ago. Both fairing halves caught from space by the SpaceX ships. I told you, if we heard about it, it would be good news. They wouldn't post it if it was... Where's my mouse? There it is. Okay. I told you they wouldn't post it if it wasn't good news, but there it is. Both fairing halves caught from space by SpaceX ships. That is awesome. We need to retweet that. Oh wait, this is the wrong Twitter account. Switch to the Overlook Horizon Twitter account. Let's see, where is he? Both fairing halves caught. Okay, retweet this. What should we say? I don't know what to say. How about, yes, double catch. And then we need some emoji. I'm an emoji guy. You guys like the emoji? I love them. There we go. That's too many emoji. That's too much, Tori. That's too much. You're just getting overboard here. Smiley, clap, clap, clap. That's enough. Bam, retweeted. Okay, you guys, this is fascinating content. You're watching me retweet Elon Musk. So there we go, double catch. That's awesome. Thanks to, who was that gave me the tip off there? Was that GVA? Somebody told me. Can't remember. This is why I like Overlook Horizon so much. You're like a kid on Christmas morning. I just love it. I get so excited. I'm having a great time. Another big win. That is crazy if you think about it. Double catch. They've caught... Have we... I don't think they've had a double catch yet. Have they had a double catch? I know they've caught one. Did we have a double catch in the past? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, Sebi says no. I don't think we had a double catch. We've only had a single catch. Not a double catch. But today, double payload fairing catch. First double catch, says Gregorius. Thanks for the confirmation. That's awesome. That is fantastic. Double payload fairing catch. That's crazy. That's awesome. So first time. We had a first today. Hopefully, I'm sure they'll share it. I'm sure they'll share video of that. They've gotta share video of that. So we're gonna keep an eye on Elon Musk afterwards. Not a double, no, it is a double, Ron. It is a double. Elon Musk we just showed it. He tweeted it out. I'll show you. Then right here, I just retweeted it. From Elon himself, both fairing halves caught from space by the SpaceX ships. It's a double catch. I just tweeted it out. There we go. Right? First time. Not a double. Oh, Ron says not. He meant not before today. Oh, gotcha. I missed what you were saying there, Ron. Thanks for the correction. On the same ship. No. They were different ships. So they have two ships out there. One is Go Miss Chief and one is Go Miss Tree. So each half is caught on a separate ship. So two ships out there, each one catches a half. Let's see. I retweeted your tweet. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that. So, Laura says, I'm so glad I'm not the only one who goes overboard with emojis and then reels them back in before posting. Yeah, that's usually my style. But the first draft always has way too many emoji. That's it. Yep, first double catch. All right, so I think it would have to be one fast ship to catch both. Yeah, that's true. No, they send one half to each ship, and then they have the fairing half is under a steerable parachute, and the ship is obviously steerable, so they steer both of them. Here's my animation, like this. Then they catch it. A little more gently than that, but that's the idea. Will there be a triple? Well, there's only 2 fairing halves, so there's not going to be a triple. Unless for some reason it breaks. What has been captured? So, all right, so it's the payload fairing halves. Let's do I have video of this somewhere? We can just search Twitter. Where I know I have, there's a video on my YouTube channel that I know. I was trying to think of where I can find video quickly of what we're talking about here. Hold on, there's a video on my channel from where is it? This one, right here. We're gonna keep it muted. You don't have to hear me. Right here. Here's the idea. Yeah, here's me talking. Something. There you go. So there's the ship. This is actually before. This is when it was called Mr. Steven. They renamed it to Miss Tree, but it's a big giant net like that. And then the payload fairing, which the payload fairing protects the satellite on top of the rocket. It's the nose cone, essentially. The nose cone on top of the rocket. And so it comes under parachute like this. Oh, we don't need this replay text here. Get rid of the replay text. They've missed it a couple times. They've tried real hard. There's me talking. You can go see the video on my YouTube channel if you want to see what this is all about. But here you go. This is what it's supposed to look like. It comes in like this and then just gently lands in the net. That's what a successful catch is supposed to look like. Just like that. But it's very hard. Very hard to get a very hard to get a single catch. We haven't had a single catch actually in a while. So here's more footage right there. You can see the yellow arrow right there, just gently placed into the net on the back of the ship. This is like way off center. This is why the net is so big. This is way off center on the side. And that, oh wait, there you go. So there's the bigger version. This is one that they landed. I think this was Arabsat that this video is from, that they landed pretty much right in the middle there. And this is like drone footage. So obviously they have access to a drone. I wish they would do the booster like this, but so this is like drone footage right there of the fairing landing in the net. Now that's not today. Not today. This is old video. That's from Arabsat a while ago. So that's what they just caught for those that were confused about exactly what they caught today. Okay, let's see if we missed any comments. Then we're gonna have to wrap up here shortly. How many times have I said that? Is my Discord taking bets yet on how many times I've said that I'm gonna wrap up? That's usually what they do. Exclamation point Discord if you want an invite to join the Discord. You gotta type it in the YouTube chat or the Twitch chat if you're on Twitch. Not only is that a first, that's $5 million worth of a fairing that doesn't need a massive refurbishment due to saltwater exposure. Yes, thank you, Chuzakon. So that's the whole point of catching them, is they've recovered them out of the water and reused them again. So they can, if they soft land in the water, which sometimes that's a challenge. Sometimes they don't land so softly and they break when they land in the water, or they land in the water and then break from, ocean conditions or waves or things like that. But if they can soft land in the net, there's no salt water, no corrosion on there that they need to refurbish all the computers and because remember, just because it seems like a silly little nose cone, there's computers on there that are managing that steerable parachute. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, those payload fairing halves, I think they're actually they're $6 million each. Or is it $6 million total for the set? I think it's $6 million each. You need a second Falcon 9 model with a fairing. I know I need a print of payload fairing for the Falcon 9 model, so I could have showed it as an example here today. But yeah, it's essentially, here we go. It's the nose cone. Goes on the top of the rocket. Here's your first stage, your second stage. The nose cone goes on top. I don't have a nose cone. All I have is Crew Dragon. But it's a nose cone that goes on top. Will these catches ever not be hilarious as an idea? I know, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that they're able to catch. It seems like ridiculous. Andrea on Facebook says, I can't find your Discord. You have to get Andrea, you got to get an invite link, and the only way to get that is on YouTube or Twitch in the comments section. So you'd have to go to the YouTube video. Look up OLHCN on YouTube. You have to do it before we end the live stream because you won't be able to do it afterwards. But on our YouTube channel, OLHCN, you can go to the chat, type in ! Discord, get yourself an invite link. Doesn't work on Facebook, unfortunately. Facebook is Facebook. They don't let me do that. I really want to do 3D prints, but I'm too poor to afford 3D prints. You'd be surprised how affordable 3D printers are becoming. My 3D printer is not crazy, but it prints really well. Slightly less crazy than catching something with a helicopter. Yeah, that's going to be Rocket Lab's attempt, is to grab the booster with a helicopter. That'll be crazy. Oh yeah, Sebi reminds me, the channel name actually says Overlook Horizon. So if you're searching on YouTube, you'll have to search Overlook Horizon. But if you search OLHZN, we'll come up. You'll find us. But we did rename the channel just to Overlook Horizon for simplification. People would see OLHCN and be like, what is that? But that's still the YouTube username. So if you just go to youtube.com/OLHCN, that's how you'd get there. When is your next broadcast? It'll probably be for Starlink. But we also have the Mars Perseverance coming up, and we have SAOCOM 1B coming up. We'll be doing all of those. But we don't know which one's coming first. So maybe Starlink first, depends on which one comes first. But there's probably, before the end of the month, we only got 11 days left in the month, there's still probably at least 2, maybe 3 more launches that we're going to live stream in the next 11 days. So stick around, make sure you subscribe, because we got a lot more coming. Name change caught me off guard. Yeah, we just decided one day in the Discord that we were going to change the name. I guess I did. I don't know. I did, and then we got support from everybody. Just changed it to Overlook Horizon, just for simplicity. OLHCN was just too confusing. When will they launch Falcon Heavy? I don't know when the next Falcon Heavy is, but there is one scheduled. Is it on the launch schedule right now? That's a Delta Heavy, Falcon Heavy, late 2020. That's the U.S. Space Force 44 mission. So late in 2020. So towards the end of the year will be the next Falcon Heavy, and it's a very mysterious launch. Undisclosed payloads, 2 undisclosed payloads into geosynchronous orbit. On Falcon Heavy. That's direct to geosynchronous orbit, not geostationary transfer orbit like we did today. I believe that one's going direct to geosynchronous orbit, which is why they're using Falcon Heavy for it. That's U.S. Space Force 44 coming up towards the end of the year. That'll be the next Falcon Heavy. How large is the nose cone? Very big. I don't have a picture readily available, but it's huge. If you've ever seen the very first Falcon Heavy launch that had Elon Musk's, and we can pull it up, why not? Let's see. If you've ever seen the picture from SpaceX of the Tesla Roadster, here we go. Share it right here. This is, it's not a huge picture. Why is it so small? Well, it's a little bit grainy, but I'll show it to you anyways. This is what I did on short notice here, but that's a full-size car. That's not a Matchbox car. That's a full-size car at the bottom of the payload fairing. Just think, you can probably stack about 10 plus of those cars in that payload fairing and still have room left over. So it's very big. It's surprisingly big. Chusicon says it's going to be another one of those "we lost the payload" launches. That's a reference back to the Zuma launch, where that was a national security launch that they lost the payload. Everybody, a lot of people don't believe that it was lost. I don't have any reason not to believe it, but that's just what people say. What people, you ask? I don't know. Some people. Obviously, Chusicon says it. Someday, Sierra Nevada Dream Chaser will be where the car is now. Well, I think the Dream Chaser is launching on Atlas, not on Falcon. I think they're planning to launch on Atlas, right? Spy satellite, yeah. Well, that's probably what it is. All right, everybody. Well, I think now, I've said it a bunch of times, but I think it's time we wrap up here now. We'll continue the conversation on Discord if you want to jump in. I know we mentioned it a bunch of times, ! Discord in the YouTube chat if you want a final invitation. Last call, because we're heading out, and I'm really going to end it now this time. But I'm glad everybody was here with us. I'm glad we finally got back to live streaming again, even if we went off the rails with the whole deorberate thing. But it's... how much fun could it really be if we don't have things like that? I mean, this is why you come for the live stream, so you get to see the deorberate in real time. Oh God, that was an interesting one. All right, well, I hope everybody can deorberate from this stream and have a good rest of the day. I'm going to end it here and leave it for the rest of the day. I'll probably jump in the Discord for a little while here and say hello, and you guys can tell me all what you thought of deorberate. But that's going to be it. My name's Tori. This is Overlook Horizon. I will see you guys next time. A couple more streams coming up, so subscribe and join along, because I'll see you then. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good day. Goodbye.